Can Zeke deke again? It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Baltimore Ravens. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. He will score! Touchdown, Baltimore! A big play there. His first touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. So problems here on special teams, and it results in the scoop and the score.
They talk all the time on special teams about keeping your head on a swivel, trying to see the whole field. Hard to do when things are going that fast, bodies all over the place. You're just trying to find the right guy to align yourself with. On that play, wow.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
last week's game.
Good. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
I'm going to give him another shot.
All right. I think the ratio's pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception, but he wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 14 yards, good for a Cowboy first down. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. The numbers for Zeke from last week. He was, without a doubt, one of the catalysts in that victory.
And he can really be the glue that makes this offense go, because when defenders have to commit to stopping him, that just opens up more opportunities in the passing game.
He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. And what they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. Got an open man, the tight end, Jarwin. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
A first down carry by Elliott. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Ravens now as they get set for their opening possession. As we get a look at a guy who grew up in Florida, played his college ball, of course, in Louisville. It's the electric Lamar Jackson.
His game last week reminded me of the old song, Accentuate the Positive. Because that's about all he did, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards in the air. Receivers happy.
And they got the win.
Got the win. If you're running back that likes to catch passes, they're happy as well. Big-time game.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So back-to-back games here of great production and just, you know, his cuts. They're so quick last week and this week.
That comes from confidence, I think. He understands what the defense is trying to do, but I think he has so much belief in his offensive line that he's just saying, the block's going to be there. I'm not worried about it. And we saw that last week. In fact, they were so good last week on the flight home. I actually plugged in the game and watched the offensive line play one more time. I was so impressed by them. And they're carrying it over to this week. And, of course, when you got a big-time runner behind them, that's a pretty good combination.
Doesn't hurt. Now Prescott. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. This unit, they've struggled a little bit against the pass, ranked number 21 in the league.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. This is Elliott. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
They'll get it to the 23 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. On 2nd down now. It's Elliott, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
And this is caught. It's Cooper. And they'll get this down to the 10. A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. From 10 yards out, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game.
As a former defender, I would be angry as well. Could not get off the field. Well-executed offensive drive. No matter what the defense tried, they couldn't stop them.
Extra point right down the middle, and we are tied at 14. So that drive takes them down the field in 8 plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now, the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. These two teams all tied after one. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drives, exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Jackson. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. DeMarcus Lawrence. He's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far, so maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game? Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. Here's Matt Weil now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Fielded at about the 28. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them. No matter how many people are put in his direction, it just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Here's Elliott. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two. On 2nd and 11 now. Prescott. And this will be incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
And that's Elliott, complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And he is the NFC rating offensive player of the week. You got to think, all the guys that take the field each and every week, that's not an easy award. Always has to feel good to grab. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, his 11th touchdown of the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Extra point attempt to follow here. Just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. On 2nd and a couple, Jackson. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 34-yard line. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 34. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson throwing the out route incomplete. It's Andrews. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys.
listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Hollywood Marquise Brown with his second TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And now they can recapture the lead if they can make the PAT. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. On 2nd and 12, Prescott looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and that'll make it 3rd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they're going to measure revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back. But that's one step in the pop.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now it's Jackson. Screenplay, Johnson. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. They wound up getting nothing out of that 2nd down completion, so now here's 3rd and 10. From the gun, Jackson on the move to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or two short. Gain of 9 that time on the scramble, 1 yard shy of the marker, and it brings up 4th. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando. That's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey, where it was the Giants who pick up the victory at home. 28-14 was your final score. Next, we'll stay in the Northeast as we head down to FedEx Field in Washington to check in on the Redskins. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. 24-10 was your final. And finally, on Monday Night Football, should be a good one there, between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Cotton and Charles Davis.
The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Andrews. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard strike.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Again, it's Elliott. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Cooper's got it. And that catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career, that draws him level with Lance.
Yeah, the man they call Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
Amari Cooper, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw is Prescott. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a 1st. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. The give is to Elliott. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
They go to Elliott again. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down. Prescott now 11 of 17 passing thus far. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Now Elliott. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd and 1, Prescott to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And Jason Garrett's going to leave the offense on the field. They're going to go for it here on 4th. Now Prescott on 4th down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Cowboys have retaken the lead. It took a pretty big risk right there going for it on 4th down. But, hey, not only did they get the first down, forget about that, they got in the end zone.
Yeah, because normally you're just thinking, can I get enough yardage to get it past the sticks and pick up a first down? Instead, they go for the end zone and get it done with no margin for error. Remember, 4th down, they went for it.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They begin the drive with Johnson. Johnson with a burst, a first down or more. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Duke Johnson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Ravens have once again taken the lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Zeke and the Cowboys ready to begin their next drive. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Elliott, and they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Well, throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Take it at the 37. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. It's a pickup of 6, and that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night, and that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Throwing is Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And he is across midfield from 149 to the other 49, a gain of just 2. The Ravens on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Prescott. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 7 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Prescott to throw it. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to get to the 31. Enough for the first down. 8 yards, first down as they're able to convert.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A first down throw for Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. Throwing. Prescott. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 44-yard line. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. To throw on 2nd and 10. Prescott. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 24-yard line.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a...
Down the numbers. There he goes. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott as his guys have now moved out in front.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. The extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens, here they come. Down 34-31, just over 2 minutes to go. They'll have one play here just north of the 2-minute warning. Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. We come up here on 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. Snead's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Andrews. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. First down now, but the clock continues to move. And this would have been intercepted if he could have gotten the feet in. He didn't, so it's incomplete. Boy, that one really could have turned this thing upside down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 35. Throwing now is Jackson.
Pardon, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little.
Oh, no, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. A 20th carry here for Elliott. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. Room to run again. And finally down at the 36-yard line. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run with Elliott. A gain of 3, 2nd down. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
On 2nd and 7, Prescott. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Dallas, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Can Zeke deke again? It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, Ezekiel Elliott, fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Washington Redskins taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So with that, let's head over to the heart of Texas. Massive AT&T Stadium in Arlington. On the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Just a gorgeous fall afternoon in the heart of Texas. No weather to speak of. Sun out, roof open. Yes, yes, and yes. A great day for football at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They've gone a full half season since their last loss. Winners of 8 in a row.
And you don't get on win streaks like this without your defense playing a big role. They've created quite an identity, and I know they want and expect this streak to get to 9.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point. But, boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They are led out by the 15th overall selection in 2019, former Ohio State Buckeye Dwayne Haskins.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Here we go.
They'll run on first down. Swift calling no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now.
Let's go, let's go.
And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
I thought Brandon Scherf was one of the best tackle prospects I'd seen in recent years coming out of the University of Iowa, but didn't surprise me at all when Washington decided to move him inside to guard. He has the requisite size that you're looking for, but I also think that he has the great movement skills in order to pull, trap, and also climb to the second level for blocks downfield. I think he's going to be a stalwart for them for years to come.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. On second down, Dunlap. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. And a look at the defense for the Cowboys.
I think most people locked in on Byron Jones when he came out of UConn at the NFL Combine, where he darn near jumped out of the stadium because of his vertical leap. But there's so much more to his game than that. Played cornerback and safety in college, and they can use that same ability to move him around in the NFL in order to create great matchups on defense for Dallas.
Third down, here's Haskins. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Bringing him down there, Jonathan Allen. And on this offensive unit, your thoughts on Travis Frederick?
He's a quarterback's best friend. Sets all the line calls and blocks so aggressively.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Again to Elliott. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. A look here on your screen at how Washington's going to line up defensively. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
Check, 59. Here we go, D.
Here's Prescott. That's taken in by Callaway. Catch number 44 on the year. It's a 1st down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
The numbers for Zeke from last week. 22 carries, 114 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now. Number 3 in the league in rushing within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, and there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give them 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas 1st down. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this. And, hey, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
This defense hasn't let him in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2. Now here's Pollard. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on, and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Haskins. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now Haskins, 3rd and long. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. The tally there, -8 yards. Leads to 4th down as well.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great. And they're fun. They've become a little more ho-hum right there.
Yeah, they really are. And I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 2 first-half touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. Throwing right, and that's complete. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try the left side. Swift. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 13. Throwing on 3rd and long. Haskins. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Here's Tressway now. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Now this throw caught left side. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the 1st.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense...
Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football.
We got this.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. A big seam, and he might go all the way. And he takes it the distance. No time remaining.
No cloth on the field.
Yeah, no flags, and it's a kickoff return to end the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. The NFL season going to be about 2/3 complete after this weekend, so lots to get to as we check out what's going on here in Week 11. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat, and a touchdown separating these two as they've gone to halftime. Hakeem Butler, a touchdown catch in that first half. From there, we head down south to Atlanta. Check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And it's the visiting L.A. Chargers who are out in front. Taywan Taylor, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Jaleel Scott, a touchdown reception. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock. But barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Now Prescott. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Redskins will take control of the football in great field position. Boy, sitting on a 2-score lead at this stage in the game. That punter, he must be pretty lonely over there on the sideline thinking, why in the world was my number not called there?
As far as he's concerned, the check will still cash, right? It is your choice not to use me in this situation. But I also look at it this way. You know, some coaches are more aggressive than others. They just want to take care of the football, have the ball on offense, and go at it that way. So a very interesting call, but he wants to take care of the ball himself.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes, and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal. This is 3rd and goal now. 80,000 on their feet here in Arlington. Now Haskins to throw it. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Let's see what our player spotlight feature has in store with Dak Prescott. And it's been a good game for him to this point, Charles. They're winning on the scoreboard. They got to be feeling pretty good.
And it's always fun for them when they're not just winning on the scoreboard, but they're contributing in a big way. You see him throwing touchdown passes, watching this video here. It's got to be a fun time for him and a relaxed time because nothing is pressing.
Relaxed, cool, calm, collective, all those things describing him right now. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And all the way to the opposite 45. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
From the 36, Prescott. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
4th down, Prescott. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that fourth down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
Prescott now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find a completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. To the air again, Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak Prescott now 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
That time a 9-play drive. And it's capped off for the Cowboys touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Here we go.
Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
We're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me.
Now Haskins to throw on 2nd down. And that's incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They're going on 4th down. Haskins. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there. And I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here. He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. And it's caught. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
58. We're going to 54. Wire. Jimmy's trash. Let's go.
Now Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott with his 14th touchdown of the year, 2nd of the game. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
Now the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken about the 12. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Haskins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. The tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
3rd and 2, now Haskins. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Aguilar has it. And he's taken down inside. A premium, you wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. To throw again on 2nd down. Haskins. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the 4th quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Here's Haskins to throw. Going for it all. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The Redskins on 3rd down, putting an extra man here in the secondary. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, they only had a yard to go. They try to pass the football. Defense blitz. Defense got there.
Yeah, I think on this one, this is probably good scouting, understanding a few tendencies, and figuring out that, hey, they may take a shot, and they dialed up the pressure and got to him.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this ball is going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for them.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So for the Cowboys, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Washington, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our